Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I'm Aisha, and in today's episode we will be talking about the recent controversy which is going on in Mumbai, and this controversy is related to the salt pan. Now, what are these salt pans and why the controversy has erupted, and the environmentalists have also speaking with regard to this controversy, and why the Dharavi redevelopment project also came to the news in association with it. So let us first of all look at the points of discussion. First we will be looking at the news, then what are salt pan lands, then salt pan across India, salt sector in India, and in the end prelims practice question. Topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3, that is conservation. So before moving forward, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And the news talks about controversy over Mumbai's salt pans. Why do these lands matter? So we do not have to focus that the controversy is going on in Mumbai much. What is our focus area is the salt pan. Now let us look at the news. So this month, in the starting of this month, the center has approved the transfer of 256 acres of salt pan land in Mumbai. So 256 acres of salt pan land in Mumbai has been approved to be transferred to the Dharavi Redevelopment Project Private Limited. And this Dharavi Redevelopment Project Private Limited is a joint venture between the Adani Realty Group and the Maharashtra government. And this is for building the rental housing for slum dwellers. Now Dharavi is an area in Mumbai which is one of the most congested and densely populated area where the slum dwellers live in a record numbers. And this project of redevelopment of the slum or the Dharavi and building for rental houses needs to be made there for the slum dwellers. And this has been a long project, and now the center has approved to transfer the 256 acres of salt pan land. And now the controversy which has erupted is that the redevelopment project or the building of the houses for slum dwellers will be made in the area which has been transferred from the salt pan land in Mumbai, and this is a low lying land. Now the environmentalists have entered in this project or in this controversy by saying that this transfer of land from salt pan to for the development purposes will cause damage to the ecosystem and will cause damage to the already fragile environment in the Mumbai. And now this has invited criticism from the environmentalists and many other people from other sectors also, and this will damage the fragile ecosystem of Mumbai. Now this is about the controversy, but what becomes important for us to know about, first of all, what are salt pan lands? Salt, the name itself is telling that a patch of land where salt is being made, and that is why it is called salt pan land. Now let us see, it is a parcel of low lying land. Low lying land means, like, imagine if this is the area and this is the land of one place, then the salt pan will be situated at a low lying land. It means it will be like this. If the normal area is like this land, then it will be at a low lying place. So this will be the salt pan. Now what happens is that water gets accumulated in this low lying land. See this parcel of low lying land where seawater flows in at certain times and leaves behind salt and other minerals. Now if the land will be at the same place like other lands, then water will not get accumulated there. If anything needs to get accumulated there, or water or any liquid needs to get accumulated at a certain place, then a hole or some kind of depression needs to be there so that the liquid can get filled there. So the salt pan is an area where the water comes and gets accumulated, and in slowly or gradually when the water gets eliminated, so it leaves behind salt and other minerals in that area, and that is why it is called salt pan land, because salt is being made there. So parcels of low-lying land where seawater flows in at certain times and leaves behind salt and other minerals. I hope things are clear. Then, along with Mumbai's mangroves, this ecosystem is instrumental in protecting the city from flooding. Now, Mumbai is a place, and Mumbai is a coastal area where a lot of precipitation in the form of rain takes place. When so much of precipitation takes place, now what is the point which is being raised by the environmentalists, that is that these salt pans, because they are low lying area, so the area which is at a higher pedestal to these areas, so the water during the time of heavy precipitation comes and gets settled in these areas, and this prevents and this helps in the prevention and mitigation of floods in the city. And along with mangroves, these salt pan is one of the major reasons for the control of flooding in the city. And if salt pans will be removed, and then the Dharavi redevelopment project will take place there and the buildings will be made, then those buildings will also be at a low-lying area. And imagine the situation in future about the people who are living there, that because they are at a low-lying area, so the water will come there also and will get filled. So this was one of the point which was raised by the environmentalists, that this is the reason that along with mangrove, salt pan is also one of the reasons for the mitigation of floods in the city, and that is how the fragile ecosystem of the city will be hampered. Then if we talk about the Mumbai wetlands, so see, first of all, the salt pan in certain areas they come under the wetlands, while in certain areas they do not come under the wetlands. So the Mumbai salt pans, they are not part of the wetlands. While in other areas, if you will look at, there is Sambar Lake, which is a saltwater lake. There is Chilika Lake, which is a saltwater lake. While these two lakes comes under the wetlands, but Mumbai wetlands, they do not come under the wetland. So revision of Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2017, salt pan land is no more defined as wetland. So Mumbai's salt pan land do not come under the wetlands. There are other salt pan lands which come under the wetlands, like for example Chilika Lake or Sambar Lake. So if the question comes in your examination that all the salt pan lands in India are part of the wetlands, then it becomes wrong, or all the salt pan lands in India are not part of the wetlands, this also becomes wrong. Then the next point is that the salt pan land in Mumbai, they come under the coastal regulation zone, that is CRZ. So according to the coastal regulation zone notification of 2011, ecologically sensitive salt pan fall under the CRZ 1B category. Now the coastal regulation zone also has different categories, and within the category of CRZ 1B, salt pan lands falls under it. And category 1B talks about the eco-sensitive or ecologically sensitive areas, like for example biosphere reserve, mangroves, salt pan, and they are the areas which comes basically between the high tide line and the low tide line. And I have discussed the coastal regulation zone in detail in the Environment This Week series section of last week, so you can go and check out if you want to know the coastal regulation zone in detail. Then under the CRZ 1B category, that is the coastal regulation zone 1, no economic activity is allowed. So no economic activity is allowed with the exception of salt extraction and natural gas exploration. So economic activity will not be allowed, like for example construction of buildings or mining or development projects. Then in all 5,378 acres of land in Mumbai, have been designated as salt pan land, approximately 9 times the size of the Dharavi slum. So if we talk about in Mumbai, so in Mumbai around 5,378 acres of land has been designated as the salt pan land. So this is about the salt pan land. I hope things are clear. Let me show you few of the pictures also. Okay, this is how the salt pan land looks like. Look at this image. See, these are the salts. This also. Now let's talk about the salt pan across India. So nationally, if we talk about, then some 60,000 acres have been demarcated as salt pan land, and there the salt that we consume in our daily life, the manufacturing of the salt takes place at these places. Then they are spread across Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Gujarat and Karnataka. And if we are talking about salt, then it becomes bit easier to guess that these basically will be the coastal areas where the salt pan lands will be situated in India. Then Andhra Pradesh boasts the largest expanse of such land, followed by Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. So largest salt pan land is situated in Andhra Pradesh, around 20,000 acres. Now let's talk about the salt sector in India. So when we talk about salt, salt is a central subject. Central subject means the central government has the power to form laws over salt. So salt is a central subject and is listed as item number 58 of the Union List of the 7th schedule of the Constitution, and it is listed as a mining industry. Then the government of India has delicensed the salt industry by deleting provisions relating to salt in the Central Excise and Salt Act 1944. So delicensing has already been done. Then India is the third largest salt producing country in the world after China and US. And the global annual production is about 230 million tons. Then if we talk about the production of salt, then during the time of India's independence, that is 1947, around 1.9 million tons of salt was being produced in India, and which has now increased many folds. So during the time of 2022-23, around 39.11 million tons production of salt has taken place in India. So 1947, 1.9 million tons, and at that point of time, import of salt used to take place because sufficient quantity of salt production was not done. But as of now, India is self-sufficient in salt production, and the surplus salt is also being exported to other countries. So 1947, 1.9 million tons, and the year 2022-23, it is 39.11 million tons production. So the salt production has increased many times. Then if we talk about the largest salt producer in India, so that is the state of Gujarat. So Gujarat is the largest salt producer in India, and it accounts for more than 75% of the salt production in India. So it does not matter that how much land a state has, what is that how production is being done. Then in the end, a prelims MCQ, and this is a PYQ of the year 2009, and you have to give me the answer. Among the following, who is the Agaria community? AGARIA, Agaria community. Now you need to go and search about this. Among the following, who is the Agaria community? A traditional toddy tappers community of Andhra Pradesh, a traditional fishing community of Maharashtra, a traditional silk weaving community of Karnataka, or a traditional salt pan workers community of Gujarat. I hope you will be able to give me the answer in the comment section. So give me the answer in the comment section. And in the end, on the occasion of Hindi Divas, Drishti IAS has come up with a special 40% discount on all online pen drive courses, test series and DLP, and the offer is valid on 13th and 14th September. So you can download the Drishti Learning app, or you can click on the link which is given in the description box, or for more information call us at 8010440440 or 87501 87501. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.